Right. Now, we got people to send in, a little thing for you last week, didn't we? The film Freaks. You got a few sent in. You watched it, did you?
Yeah. Now, I should just point out that the film Freaks, for those that don't know, was a movie that was released, I think, in the... Well, actually, it was originally made in about 1932, something like that, and then it was delayed. It was banned for many years, because it did, in actual fact, feature, for want of a better phrase, real-life freaks.
Yeah.
Bearded ladies being one of the more kind of familiar ones.
There's a guy without arms and legs.
Without arms, there's all sorts. And, it was actually it's quite a tender film, isn't it? And actually portrays them as a kind of dysfunctional family. It's not exploitative in that sense, but, what do you make of it, Carl?
Well, you were watching it for the Freaks, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I wish it does take a while to get onto it.
What do you mean?
Well, straight away I was disappointed, right? Because at the start, like, you put it in, it's like, oh, brilliant. Here we go, you know. I said to Suzanne, we'll watch this, we'll have a good night.
Yeah. Have a romantic night.
That's her birthday. You've got your gloves, now we're gonna watch some Freaks.
So, put it on, and it starts off, and it's like, you know, the following film, you think, oh, it's like following films rated 15, which means, you know, might contain scenes of violence, bad language and sex.
Yeah.
Mention nothing about pinheads.
Right.
So I thought they missed the trick there.
Yeah.
To be honest. Right? So I thought, well, let's go and watch it.
And what exactly is a pinhead?
Oh, if you've seen it, you'd know.
Okay.
Right, so, not the best thing in it either. So imagine that.
Okay, so you're watching it?
So, sat there, I think, right, something comes on, and the little fella's on there, the little fella we were talking about, the Pillow Man.
Right. Is he the best thing in it?
Now, what's the Pillow Man again?
He's a fella who, years ago, he's got no arms and legs.
Right. He's just a torso.
Just rolls, yeah. And, there's a scene where you see him sort of rolling a cigarette up, just using his mouth, and it's like, he lights it and stuff. And that's weird. And then, what else is on it?
Smoking stench your growth.
And then there's a little fella on it who is fed up because he looks 5, but he's actually 34.
Right.
Right? But there's a woman who is 42 and looked 8. So they both had the opposite thing. They were both really fed up. And I kind of thought that shows that, you know, you always want what someone else has got.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in a way, there's a story there in that.
No, you described the same there.
No, it was like...
No, they both, you just said, they both looked young, but they are actually both older.
No. This was like a little man.
Yeah. Who was 35.
Who was 35.
And looked 8.
Yeah.
And so did she.
No, well, the other way round then.
What? So she was an 8-year-old that looked 35?
Yeah. So, oh, maybe not then.
Anyway. No.
But that wasn't that weird. I kind of thought it's a slow start on that.
Yeah.
And then,
It's not a difficult film to follow.
No.
Yeah, but I wasn't really listening to what it's all about. I was just looking at what they had, and they had like a fella who's running about on just...
They had like he was shopping.
You know, they had a fella with no legs and he's running about on his hands, and sort of got about on a skateboard, talking to someone about it. They said that's how E.T. was done. There's actually a little fella in E.T.
Right.
Who's just half of, sort of half a body.
Is that true?
I've no idea. I've never heard that before.
Why haven't we heard that before?
I've never heard that before.
I don't think he would fit in E.T. Because where's the head? He's got no neck, E.T. It's a skinny little thing. There's a human neck couldn't fit in that skinny little neck.
You sure it wasn't Kenny Baker up to his old tricks?
What are you talking about, Carl? There's a fella with no legs in E.T.
In E.T. they had two fellas, right? I think they had a little, a midget fella.
Right.
Who did it. And then I think he was off sick, and they were like, oh, you know, what else are we gonna do?
So they saw a guy on a skateboard going by.
And said, do you fancy some work?
Right.
And he's done it. I think someone told me. I mean, it might be wrong.
Exactly.
Might be wrong.
It might be, mightn't it? I mean, you've never been wrong before, so I don't know why you'd be wrong there. So what's the worst thing in it?
Now, it's intriguing to me because here's a film called Freaks, featuring real-life freaks, and you're sort of a bit nonplussed by it.
Just because it's built up. If you call a video Freaks, you've got to make sure that there's some good stuff on there.
Yeah.
What were you disappointed about? Was it that?
Because there was a few things on it, right? There was a woman who said she was half man, half woman, and it's like, well, you're not, are you? It was just like she had some makeup on. I thought, well, that's rubbish. And then there was a woman who could eat using her feet. That isn't that freaky. Do you know what I mean? She's not hungry, she looks normal. And that's when I was thinking, I mean, I'm not being, right, Steve. You know I'm not being funny.
Oh, here we go.
No, but I'm just saying, if that woman wasn't eating and you were sat next to her in that film,
yeah,
I'd probably be sort of drawn to you more than her. I'm not. I know you hate me saying it, but there's no point sort of pretending. Do you know what I mean?
Oi, Muttley, what are you sniggering about?
The fact that he's... Well, you mean there were things in it that were less... What are you saying?
I'm just saying...
Play a record. Seriously, I'll slap you. I'm gonna slap you live on air.
Yeah, but you always get...
Right, I'm slapping you live on air, I swear to God.
Alright, play a song then.
His favourite song.
Keep the favourite. No, keep the favourite. Bruce Springsteen, Atlantic City from the album Nebraska.
So melancholy, that one. I love that one. Wow. So Freaks then. All in all, not as amazing as you first hoped.
It was built up too much. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
It's like...
Is that my fault for getting you excited? I just can't believe it. I hand you this thing on a plate. So
I know, but,
yeah.
And I'm not being out of order, Steve. I'm just being honest. We've always said that about this show. We only talk about stuff, you know.
Yeah.
You know, being honest and that.
Yeah, no, sure.
And I've always said the first time I saw you.
Sure, no, you've always been honest, and I've always been honest with you. I've always said that, you know, you've got the intelligence and insight of a gnat.
Yeah, but if I keep quiet, people don't know that.
Sure.
Alright,
incredibly they do, Carl, because you look stupid as well.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
No, but Carl was being nice then. You don't.
I'm just saying, you're a good bloke, and now I've got to know you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time was weird when I saw you.
Yeah.
No, leave it. Don't just put into it. Just let it go.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
The first time, it was weird, and then weeks go by.
Sure.
And the weird thing is, I kind of thought maybe he's not that odd looking.
Yeah.
And then you went to LA for 3 weeks.
Sure.
And when you came back, it was like the first time again.
Right. Okay.
No, I'm just.
Okay. Wait. No. Stop it now.
Yeah.
Right, everyone, stop it now.
No, but I just think I'm a little bit more consistent because I've always thought you were an idiot.
I don't want this. Don't argue. It was just okay.
No, I just, you know, you know what I mean. My opinion has never changed. I've always thought you're an idiot.
No. It's just all nice. Let's look. Peace.
Shut up, fatso.
Peace, not war.
He's just such a stirrer, isn't he?
No,
he loves it. I don't think I didn't see you whispering behind the microphone about what to say to Carl.
Look what I've just drawn, Carl, subconsciously.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I drew a picture of him, it's not going to be on the website.
It's not been on the website.
No, it's going to be. I drew a little cartoon of him. No, not yours, I drew one of Carl. Right, okay. What are we talking about? That was a...
So, yeah, no, the Freaks thing is over and done with. It was alright if you want to get it out on video.
Sure.
You know, it's probably worth a look. Yeah. There's a couple of things on there that get you thinking more, you know, it's like how their life is and stuff, do you know what I mean? How it's affected, and like the little pillow man, or the fella who's got half of his body missing.
Yeah.
You know, it's stuff like that you think, ooh.
But what's the one that was disappointing? You said it was a half man, half woman.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that one.
Do you mean hermaphrodite or half? I can't remember it. Do you mean it was one sort of like it had bits of both?
It was just like half a face done in makeup and long hair, then on the other side it had it shaved.
I love the idea that you go to this circus and there's people in there that have been sort of persecuted all their life, and they think, well, maybe I can make some money, and then you boo them because they're not freakish enough. I love the idea they go, boo, you're not freakish enough, boo. Oh, you've got bits of legs, boo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But there was, I mean, talking about that, you see, why did they join the circus and that? Because there are things they can do. I was telling you in the week that I was reading something on some news website about some sort of, Olympic-style games, where they're going to see, like, disabled people against able-bodied.
Right. Let's be careful here, shall we?
No, I'm just saying, though.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So there is other things. It doesn't mean just because you haven't got legs you can't do other stuff.
Yeah.
And in this race, there's, like, disabled people who are beating able-bodied people.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Would you go and see that? I don't know.
But, I mean, it depends. What do you mean? They're beating them? At what?
He didn't state what the little races were and that.
Little races. Does that
can't help himself.
No, little races. Oh look, there's the disabled with their little races.
Yeah, they're having another little race.
Oh dear.
Would you go? Would you go and...
And
watch that?
Now, Carl, I know you're fascinated by the concept of the doppelganger, of seeing someone who looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
Jake has emailed in. He says, Carl, if you could spend a day with an exact replica of you, okay, so somehow they've cloned you, Carl, and you've got him for one day, what would you do with this? What would you make him do? What conversation would you have with him? What would you do? Is there anything you could, how would you utilise him for one day?
Well, they'd both say, I'm not bothered, and that'd be the end of conversation.
Yeah.
What would do me head in is, does he think the same way, look the same way,
Exactly the
dresses?
same.
Yeah.
How would I know which one I was?
Because you'd be you.
That's amazing.
No,
How would I know which
That's
one I was?
incredible.
No, because-
that is the most stupid thing ever said by a human being. Can we get the Guinness Book of Records on this? Has anyone anywhere in the world said anything more stupid than how would I know which one was me?
But think about it, this other person's going, all right, thanks for meeting up and that. And I go, hang on a minute. No, you came to me. And then Suzanne would come home and she wouldn't know the difference. And then suddenly you'd start doubting yourself. And you go, should I be leaving? Or... So, how do I know if I am that real one, if he knows what I know?
But you know who you are because you're experiencing
But he'd
it.
be saying that because he'd say, yeah, it is a bit weird.
But
isn't
you
it,
know
Owen,
the truth, you idiot.
How would I know which one I was?
So anyway...
But bear in mind,
What would you do?
You could pass him off as yourself.
What would you do? Would you play tricks? Would you,
You could be in two places at once.
Would you do stings? Would you do scams?
No, because it would only end up getting me into trouble, won't it? Because people won't believe that there's another one like me. Otherwise, everyone would be saying that when they get caught robbing. They go, oh, it wasn't me, it was my doppelganger. It can only... I wouldn't want it, to be honest. It's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Because he could be going off, going mental, causing all sorts of trouble, and you're going, will you pack it in? And he's going, what? What are you on about? But then that wouldn't happen, would it? Because he's being me, so he'd be sat wherever I am anyway. Because he'd want to do what I want to do. So, pointless. But I still wouldn't want it.
It's unbelievable.
That was a conversation with himself.
That was amazing.
That was like experiencing what it would have been like if there was two Carls.
Yeah,
he was having a discussion with himself.
We could have left in that time and come back, and he'd be arguing still.
What does this mean? Does this mean... Does this mean, though, that I could just sit at home and not do anything and just send me out on...
Yes.
And when he's seen something happen, I'm seeing it.
No.
You're separate people.
You're separate people.
But then he's not a doppelganger then,
Well,
is he?
you're identical twins then. You found out identical twins and he's got exactly the same input as you. I mean, it's not a real question, is it? It's just a little... Again...
But I said to you the other week about twins and that, how I wouldn't like to have a twin. It's alright when you're a kid, but unless you're a Siamese twin, even they don't even look alike, do they? They're just stuck together. You don't go, oh, don't they look like each other? They have different haircuts. They don't carry that thing on, do they? That normal twins do. Like normal twins, the mums say have the same haircut, wear the same shirt. Siamese twins never look the same. They've just got their arse stuck together.
Again, it's a dialogue in his own head. It's unbelievable. Okay, Carl. This is a logical conundrum. To a certain extent, there's a little bit of lateral thinking because, but there is only one right answer. Now, the pressure here isn't to get this right. The pressure is when I've told you the answer to then understand it. Because when I've explained this to people, I've laid out for them, they still can't quite get the concept. Okay, so there's two doors, Carl.
Yeah.
One leads to heaven, one leads to hell. Okay, they're identical, you can't tell them apart. Okay, 50-50.
Right.
Obviously you want to go to heaven, I assume. Right, there's two guards, identical guards, guarding each door. Okay?
Right.
The one guarding hell always tells a lie. The one guarding heaven always tells the truth. You have to ask one question to find out which is which, and then go through the door you want. What question do you ask?
I've only got one.
Yeah.
And what, one to both?
No, one to either of them. You don't know which one's which, though. So what question do you ask?
Why can't I ask, like, both of them one?
Because it's
Because
not the
the
rules.
are you can only ask one. There aren't actually two doors labelled heaven and hell, Carl. It's a leap of imagination here.
And I've definitely got to answer. I've got to ask them a question. I can't just sort of have a feel of the door to see if there's any heat or anything.
They're identical. You stand a few yards away. You cannot tell from the outside of these doors which is which. What question do you ask?
Can't look through the keyhole or anything.
There's no
Get anywhere
keyhole.
near them. Let's imagine there's a small rope that prevents you from getting anywhere near, rather like outside a nightclub.
Yeah.
So, they stood there.
Yeah.
They both look the same. They're both smiling.
Yeah.
But one of them's not really smiling, really. He's trying to make me make a mistake, isn't he?
Well, he's just going to lie when you ask him a question, if you ask him.
So what's the point in asking a question? Do I know one of them's going to lie?
Yeah.
But would they be neighbours like this? Would they be that close? Why?
I mean, we're not sure if these two guys get on.
Because it's a logical... Well, I'll tell you the answer.
No, I want to see if he can get it. He's almost there. No, he's not almost there. What am I thinking?
No, hang on. Right, so you go up and you go... you
Right,
go,
hang on. Well, look, let's imagine that. Let's imagine Ricky and I are those two guys. Okay, right?
But we have to... well, me and Steve will decide which doors we're guarding, okay?
Right.
I'm...
Look away, Carl.
Okay,
Right,
then.
so we've decided, okay, one of us is guarding hell and one of us is guarding heaven. Which question are you going to ask and who are you going to ask it to?
Right, I'll just say to you, Steve, I'll go, got some post for God here.
That's not a question. That's a statement.
Right, you've got some posts for God here.
No, that's not a question.
Yeah, but maybe the question's coming. You got some posts for God here, yeah?
And it needs to be signed.
It's not a question. Still not a question.
No, let him finish.
Is God in? Because I need him to sign for this post. Is he in?
Well, I can answer that as well if you want.
Go on.
He's in. He's behind my door. Do you want to answer it?
Well,
Yes,
Do you,
he's
want,
in.
do you want to get him? Just
Well, no, you've only got one question.
So you're asking Steve, is God in? What's the answer?
Yes.
Ask me. Yes.
look, lads. I'm just trying to do a job here. What am I going to do with this?
Well, give it to me and I'll give it to God because he's behind my door. Steve?
Yeah, give it to me and I'll take it into God because he's behind my door.
You're an idiot. Let me tell you the answer. I'm guarding hell, by the way. I'm the devil. Steve's God, okay? So you asked me what Steve would say if you asked him what door he was guarding, and I'm going to lie. I know he'd say heaven because he'd tell the truth, but I'm lying, so he'd say hell. So the question is, if I was to ask the other one what door he was guarding, what would he say? And whatever the person answers is the door they're guarding.
Steve, what door are you looking after?
Well,
Heaven.
yeah.
Why should I believe you?
Because you don't know. No, that doesn't work. Because you asked me the same and I'd say heaven as well.
Right, so who do I believe? This is where you use your gut feeling, though, isn't it? This is what life's...
Well, as opposed to the pure logic that Ricky's just used.
I just think, because there's a lot of questions in life where you don't know the answer and you go, do you know what? I don't like the look of him. So...
They're identical.
Yeah, but they're still identical twins. You always get a little snidey one.
Oh, chimpanzee, that is written it down.
That's the jingle there for Carl's diary. Here we are. Spoke to Ricky and his friend Glyn about art. I just don't get it. Ricky had some odd pictures on his walls. I don't have any pictures up in my flat because of the mirrored wall. But I can't say I'm bothered. The mirrored wall, we should just explain what that is. When you moved into your flat, there was an enormous mirror on one wall. Was that right? We
just got this flat, and, you know, it's not a big flat, so I think the people who had it before us, he was a gay fella, right, which was a bit like, oh, so you've been doing with that mirror and that. But that was...
What?
No, just, you know...
What? What has he been doing with the mirror?
Well,
What's he been doing? Why?
No, it's just because they're quite sort of experimental in it, aren't they? And
I don't know. What do you mean? What do they do?
Well, I wouldn't know anything about it, but go on.
No, what do you want? What?
no, I don't.
Experimental in what
What do
way?
you mean experimental?
I just mean, you know, they'd be doing stuff.
What?
Whatever they do.
Chemistry, they
What?
have a chemistry set out, they were doing experiments. What?
No, just doing what.
Singing "I Am What I Am" and just checking out
No,
the
each to
dance
their own. I'm
moves.
not having a go at anyone, but
What?
I'm just saying, like, they're doing what they're doing, which
Carl, you're
is
not
annoying as
homophobic,
well.
are you?
Because,
You're not
no,
st-
I'm not. I'm
What?
not. This is why. But
Why are you worried about what a little gay fella was doing in your flat before you got it in front of a mirror?
I wasn't worried about it.
Why
I
are
mean,
you thinking about what he was doing? Why are you fantasising what a little gay fella was doing in front of your mirror in your...
I'm not bothered. I'm just telling you why it was a bit odd that he had a mirror in there, right? But forget the history.
But you've got a mirror in there now, haven't you?
No, because what I did was I was going to take it down, And I thought, oh, it's a bit dangerous. This, you know, it could crack and...
Because it's the size of the whole wall, isn't it?
It took up a whole wall. Right. So, like, when he's moving about everywhere, he's got a good view of it and that. But he's got this full wall of mirror, and I thought, I can't take that down. And I thought, what can I do? So I've just put wallpaper on it.
Brilliant.
And it looks alright, you wouldn't know and what have you, but it means that I can't put any pictures up. That's all I'm saying. Because I've put a nail in.
And what don't you understand about art? What about art don't you understand? The concept? Specifics?
No, so that's like when we were in London having a shop around at Christmas, and there was that picture of fruit for 700 quid. It's like, well, just get some fruit. You know what I mean? You can get some real fruit for 3 quid.
Yeah.
I understand that, but don't invent cameras then, one or the other. Do you know what I mean? That's what annoys me. Someone invents something, and then they go, we've got to invent something else. Like the abstract thing. Why has someone gone, oh, I can't have paintings anymore because...
What do you think of Dali? Going, melting clocks and stuff? No?
I mean, the first one was alright when he did the first clock, but then all the time he's just like, oh, I'll draw something and it's got a melting clock on it. I'll do a sheep, put one of them on it.
Have you seen his lobster telephone?
That annoys me.
Why?
Because I think what annoyed me more with that is when he heard about how it happened, he had some artist mate round, right? And I don't know what happened. They were eating.
That's a hell of an anecdote.
No, but they were eating. They were eating some food and what have you.
Yeah.
Lobsters?
And they were eating lobster.
Oh, right.
And
that's handy.
I don't know, the other artist, whoever it was, sort of
phone?
Started saying, "Oh, you and your clocks and all that," right?
Brilliant.
And,
this didn't happen.
They started arguing, and he chucked some of the lobster.
Bollocks.
And it landed on the phone?
Bounced off his mate's head, went on the phone, and they both looked at each other like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And they brought out that phone as a bit of art. Things like that annoy me. Because it was then just messing about.
That didn't happen.
Just telling you what I know. I saw his work. Each to their own, if that's what he's doing. I'm just saying, I'm not putting my stamp of approval on it. Art should be there to tell a story, not just to have a splash of colour.
Do you know what he said to me the other day? This is unbelievable. This is one of the most stupid, incredible things I've ever heard. He was talking, and he suddenly stopped, and he was thinking about it, and he went, oh, I don't know what, he went, you'd never see a black ghost.
Extraordinary.
True though, isn't it?
I've never seen a ghost, full stop.
There are no ghosts. There aren't ghosts.
No, I mean when you just see them in, like, magazines and that.
Play a record! Anthony and the Johnsons. Isn't that beautiful?
Interesting.
Hope There's Someone on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Well, Karl, more, revelation. We were talking about it last week, but Karl brought it up again, just now. Didn't want to go to the doctors, didn't want to have a full sort of body checkup that may save his life, because he saw on the website they do a test where they have to insert a finger in his ass.
Oh, don't tell me about it.
Why?
Don't put it on the website, just put, we look at your heart,
yeah,
check your blood pressure out.
Yeah.
And then they could just do it quickly, could just sort of say, right.
How can they do it quickly?
No, but what I'm saying is, it's worse than it going in there, knowing that, I mean, they've got it on the website, so you're on the journey on the bus thinking, in about 20 minutes I'm gonna have a finger up my arm.
But they're doctors.
Yeah, but just
they're not doing it for a laugh, they're not filming it with a two-way screen, they're not putting on boxing gloves so it hurts more, they're up, oh, is the prostate alright, out again, out again.
I'm just saying in the day, the sort of...
Do you think they're in the pub going, here he comes, it's Pilkington, I had my finger up his arse today.
Do they allow ladies to do that? Do they allow female doctors to do it? Of course they do, they're doctors!
That's worse though.
You're sounding like him!
No, I'm just interested in, because, you know, do they allow female doctors to do the finger up the arse thing?
Well, of course they do, they're doctors! Forget the female and male, they are doctors!
Right, do you know any female doctors to do that? But what I mean is, isn't it a bit like if you're being searched at an airport, you know, and you're a woman, they send in a woman person to search you. They don't send in a bloke to do it. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, they probably trust someone who's gone through, 6 years medical college not to be taking the piss as opposed to a fat security guard who couldn't get anything else. Do you know what I mean?
What are you talking about? There's doctors all the time coming out in the papers, they gave them this so they could look at their boobs or whatever, or, you know, you're always hearing stuff about dodgy doctors.
But what I'm saying is, the reason why they do that security, because there's lots of security people, and they can, you know, for your own, you know, for your own modesty, there's a female one to search females, and a male one to search males, and that's fine. But there's not like 4 or 5 GPs to choose from, and you go in there and you go, is it your arse and testicles? Do you want a bloke or you know, you accept it.
They've got long fingernails.
They don't have long fingers. What do you think this female GP looks like? She's sitting behind the desk like Cruella de Vil, with cleavage and long red false nails, going, "Hello, love, bend over. This may hurt a little bit." There's gloves and Vaseline. I mean, I don't believe there's 2 of you now in the room, Carl. They're doctors. They have to. What would you rather do than put the hand down your throat and round your alimentary canal to feel your ass? It's a quicker way in.
You seem to know a lot about these doctors and fingers off people's asses. You're a very well informed gentleman about this sort of thing.
Well, say if they did find something.
Yeah.
Would you then have to get like a second opinion, so someone else's finger?
Well, no. They test it to see if there's anything suspicious. That it's usually a swollen prostate, which can be anything. So you know, they catch it early, and that's it. They feel up there.
But if you want a second opinion, then the same doctor will just stick a thumb up and have a feel around then. So it always works in the same way.
Yeah.
Well, if there's a doctor who can, I don't know, put me at ease. I mean, surely there's another way around it. I don't believe that. I mean, what is this? 60 million people or something in the world, isn't there? 60 billion or something?
Well,
6 billion, something.
Yes, you got it.
Right.
You hit it. Well done.
That's good work.
Right, so yeah, there's 6 billion, did I say?
Yeah, what's 6 billion then?
Loads, isn't it?
Yeah, but
So if you want a doctor to phone up to assure you that the finger at the bum thing's not painful and that it's necessary, and
Just that it's necessary, really. Just that it's not an easy way round.
Alright, what's the phone number here?
It's, changed, haven't they?
oh, fuck.
You're the producer!
Here it is. 0871 222 1049, and I think you select option 1. It tells you anyway what to do.
Please, if you're a GP, or if, you know, even if you've completed medical, I mean, we want a qualified doctor, really. Anything else is not good enough for Karl Pilkington. We'd love to, you can ask him all the other questions, because you know, Karl, as I said last week, he doesn't, feel his own testicles, because he doesn't like the feel.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd like a doctor to explain to him how necessary that is.
And this is truthful as well, I've got a very slight pain around the genital area at the moment, and I think it might be some kind of groin strain, but I'm a little bit anxious, not entirely sure
Yeah,
what it is.
you've been with me twice when I've gone along to get them checked.
Yeah.
I go, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
It's terrible. I mean, but, you know, it's usually, I think you're in a pretty low risk, aren't you?
I'd hope so.
You're coming out of the 20s, I think testicular sort of, I shouldn't be doing this, I'm not qualified. They told, all they said was to me sort of like it's 20s and 50s.
Mine,
so we're in.
Mine sort of felt like they dropped a bit the other week when I was on holiday. I don't know if that's like when you're relaxing or I was wearing shorts a lot.
How far? If it's 2 foot, it's too far.
I was having problems walking.
What do you mean? Why?
Well, it was just a bit, I had shorts on all day, I'm happy, I'm walking about on the beach, what have you. And then, at the night, when I put some long trousers on, I was sort of walking like
they probably like stretch a little bit. Sometimes, I told you, when I was about 18, I was scared. I went to, the doctor, I felt a pain, right? And, because I was doing biology, I thought I'd show off this doctor. I said, I've got a pain, I think it feels like it starts in the epididymis and goes up through the urethra, either. And, he went,
finger up my ass?
He said, your G's are too tight, they're squashing your balls. So, we want a doctor like that.
So what's the phone number again?
It's, 0871 222 1049.
A qualified
What do you mean the balls drop, though? We've got to come back to this.
I don't know, they just felt like, it's not too bad at the moment. I was alright on the way in, but
I feel twinges all the time, but you never know whether it's just because they're in...
No, but they felt like they weren't my own. Do you know what I mean? They sort of felt a bit like these.
There wasn't a bloke standing really close to you, was there?
No, you didn't get them mixed up just on the way back. On the flight back. Someone else has got
well, take a leaf out of nudist books. They just walk around. They've got nothing on it.
About nudists.
Why?
Well, let's play this ad break and that. And
have you had another encounter?
If we've got time, I'll tell you about it.
Have you really?
Well,
Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen, possibly the greatest rock song of all time. I don't know. Big words.
Big words indeed, but I echo them.
Well, we're running out of time. We've got to get on with the show. It's near the end. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope the scientists stuck in a big, I don't know, hut in the middle of nowhere in pitch darkness, 10 of them.
Oh, I imagine they've been fascinated, Rick, by the finger up the arse discussion. We had
Chinese don't age well, gingers. Yeah, all that.
The big fat kid.
Well, actually, they're probably secure in the knowledge that if they want to kill some time and it's dark, there's nothing better than stick your finger up someone else's ass.
Exactly.
So, enjoy that. But they've been hanging on for Rockbusters clues, I imagine. Here's the answer. So, give us the clue again quickly.
Alright, so the first one was, the fella let his wife know how he, got the bruise on his legs.
Go on.
Right, that was, Courtney Love. Yeah, Courtney Love. So that's Courtney Love.
So that's
the first one, CL.
So that one's fine.
The second one, that Potter.
What am I doing? Letting that one go?
Just let it go, just let it go.
Am I just letting that go?
Annoyingly, we haven't got time to take issue with it, Rick.
Okay.
That Potter lad, he's got a lot of bottle, hasn't he, doing all that stuff with the wizards and that.
Go on.
That's, Brave Harry, yeah, the Bravery, current sort of X-Men band, the Brave Harry, that works as well.
No, it doesn't.
And the last one.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't work.
The Buddhists.
It doesn't work.
Won't be able to get in their temple without
Doesn't
these.
work. Brave Harry. Doesn't work. Brave Harry.
The
Brave Harry.
Buddhists won't be able to get in their temple without these. TM. That's
Yeah.
the monk keys, right? So who got all them?
The monk keys?
Who got all them right?
Which band are called the monk keys?
The monkeys.
Oh, the monkeys.
Yeah, the monkeys. Right. So who's the winner this week?
The winner this week is Gina.
Go on, we're letting that go, yeah?
Gina got them all right. I think her text said she was from Horrorstead. I don't know, I've never heard of that place, but I assume that's right. But Gina, you win that selection.
I can't believe she got them. I cannot believe she got them, but she goes, wins those and also goes into the prize draw. We'll have, 6 people competing for that, original Matt Groening thing. If you go to rickygervais.com, you can see Matt actually doing that. We've got a signed Nigel Tufnell and, original drawing of us as Flanimals.
You want to see xfm.co.uk/Ricky. If you
Yeah.
I'll look at the picture.
And, well, that's it. It's 3 o'clock. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
More drivel next time.
A shaven monkey.
Right.